The purpose of this demo is to show how to add VMware credentials and run a virtual discovery. We will also look at the devices in the discovered network and how to add them correctly into the monitored network. To add a new virtual credential, select Settings, Libraries, and Credentials. In this example, we are going to add new VMware credentials. We could also add Windows credentials if we wanted to run a Hyper-V virtual discovery. We should give the credential a name, a domain and username, a password, and then confirm the password. You can then click Save, and we should see the credential added to our library. Now that we have added our VMware credential, we can run a discovery against a vCenter or ESX host. In this example, we are going to run a discovery against a vCenter to discover all hosts and VMs associated with that vCenter. To start a new discovery, select Discover and New Scan. We can untick Gateway IP and Local Subnet, as these options are not applicable to our scan. We will then enter the IP address of the vCenter we want to discover. Under the Expand options, we want to make sure Virtualization Environment is ticked and uncheck Wireless and Storage options. We will not change anything in the limit options. For credentials, the only credential we want to use will be the VMware credential previously set up. We will not change anything in options, nor will we add a schedule. And we can now run the scan. From the discovered network, we can see the scan running. As the scan runs, we will see that multiple devices get discovered. This is the virtual plugin reaching out to the vCenter to retrieve the hosts and VMs that are associated with it. Depending on the size of the virtual environment, the scan may take longer to run. Once the scan is completed, depending on the amount of devices returned, it may be difficult to distinguish the scan results from other devices in the monitored network. To make life easier, we can filter on recent scans and select the scan that was completed. We can now see only the devices returned from the virtual scan just completed. And we can see the black diamond symbols beside the devices indicating that they are not monitored. We can see that the vCenter that we originally ran the scan against, and we can see the hosts and VMs associated with it. If we click into the map view, we can see how the system has interpreted how the devices are linked. Depending on how the devices need to be monitored, it is very important that the vCenter, hosts, and VMs are all selected and added together into the monitored network. This creates the virtual associations in the back end. If this is not done correctly, it may lead to inaccurate maps and data not being gathered as expected. In this example, we will create a separate group for the VMware devices while adding them into the monitored network. Now that the virtual devices have been added to the monitored network, we can select the vCenter and check out the device card. We can see here that there are 4 performance monitors applied: CPU, disk, memory, and ping. If we click into device properties, we can see that there are 7 monitors applied out of the box, 1 active monitor, and 6 performance monitors. It's worth noting that the VMware Data Store IOPS monitor is applied to all virtual monitor devices. It's also an indicator that the virtual discovery has been completed successfully. We can also go into the Inventory tab and see additional information about the devices attached to the vCenter under the Hosted Virtual Machines section. We can also check out one of the ESXi hosts. In this example, we can quickly see from the device card that 2 VMs are hosted on it. We can also see that there are 5 performance monitors assigned. Like all monitor devices, we can click into the device properties screen and see which monitors have been added out of the box. We can also check out the map view for the virtual environment and see how links, etc. have been calculated. We will cover how links are calculated and generated in another training video. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this training.